What's up, everybody? We are live for UFC Vegas 10, and we're about to break down some madness here. And as expected, I mean, the last couple of weeks have been absolutely insane. Last week we had a 7-fight card, and currently we are at 12 fights. And I'm holding my breath. I mean, hopefully nothing else happens tomorrow by fight time. Did have Frivola pull out, I think, with some type of injury. I had a bet on him, actually. And then the Tyson Nam and the Matt Schnell fight was off, which was going to be a very good fight. But, man, really excited to break down this card. We have some new matchups we need to talk about. I'm really excited for it. If you guys can hit the like button, subscribe if you have not yet. I'd really appreciate that. Working my way up to 7,000 subscribers would be cool to hit that sometime in the near future here. What's up, everybody in the chat here? What's up, CK? What's up, Jordan? COVID sucks. Yeah, COVID sucks. Yeah. It's I can't wait for them to go back to Fight Island. It seems like there wasn't much of that madness here. Yeah, Clint says Frivola broke his foot. Wow. So yeah. Man. That sucks. That was going to be a good fight. I really like that matchup for Frivola too. I thought it was a good stylistic matchup. Buffo on the beat. What's up, Liam? What's up, Miles? What's up, guys? All right. So there was one fight that got canceled, and there's a couple different things that happened throughout the week. Expect any here. So let's see. So the Nam fight and Nam and Schnell's off, and then we have Jalen Turner is now fighting Brock Weaver. It was supposed to be Brock Weaver versus Frank Camacho, and we'll talk about all that. So, like I said, I did have one bet canceled. I still have two bets, and they are both two-leg parlays. I mean, there's not much on this card. This is a parlay card, a bunch of big favorites. Just looking at the lines here, like they're all wide. The closest line is Watterson and Hill and Worthy and Azatar, and I don't feel comfortable betting either side in that. So what I'm going to do is I have two-leg parlays we'll talk about, and then might be like a Hail Mary parlay because I don't know. But we'll talk about it here. We'll start with the first fight of the night, though. As always, if you guys can ask questions, try to keep them related to the fight we talk about. And we'll talk some DraftKings as well. I know I didn't get my DraftKings video out yet. It's going to be out tomorrow morning. Really couldn't with everything going on. DraftKings was missing like 4 fights. So I'm going to end up getting it out there for tomorrow for you guys there. So Sabina Mazzo versus Justin Kish. Minus 235 for Mazzo, 9,200 on DraftKings. First fight of the night. I know it seems like no matter who fights on the first fight of the night, it's optimal. So, I mean, this is not a fight I'm interested in playing, especially from a DraftKings perspective. Pretty much a pass fight for me. Mazzo by decision, minus 135. It's not awful, but I think this fight can play out a little bit closer than the line indicates. Mazzo's still young. She's 23 years old, but I do think she's a better fighter, but Kish is very tough. I do feel like she can make this close. Even Kish, if she wins on DraftKings, it's not really going to score all that high. It's probably going to be a really grinding decision, not really expecting her to get a finish or nothing like that. Kish has never been finished. I don't really expect Mazzo to go out there and knock her out or anything. So this is a fight I want to probably fade on DraftKings, especially on a 12-fight slate. If this goes down to 7 fights, then we'll have to play it. But as of now, this is not a fight I do want to target. Not really comfortable with parlaying Mazzo. Like I said, I have 2 small parlays, and I'm going to do like a Hail Mary. But this is not a fight I want to put in my Hail Mary. Honestly, I'm not going to have any of these women's fights in my Hail Mary because I'm not really confident in all of these picks here. But Mazzo should get it done. I do think she's the better fighter, the better striker, but it's not something I'm overly interested in. Does anybody have a bet on this first fight? Is anybody interested in on this on DraftKings? Something's wrong with the mic. All right, I'm going to try to fix it right now. All right, here we go. Can you guys hear me now? Is it fixed? Is it fixed? Waiting. It should be better now. Yeah, it's better. All right. I don't know what happened, but anyway, more than likely goes to decision, even if it's close. The UFC will make sure the pretty one wins. Yeah, that's true there. Zero interest in Kish. Maybe Mazzo, if she can get the volume to 100, even then likely goes to decision. Hard to score above. Yeah. Delete a bit. All right. Good. All right, we're good. Sorry about the mic issues. I don't know what's going on. I ordered a new mic like a month and a half ago. Actually, I was getting it replaced because my mic is scratching at times, and they still haven't sent it in. So hopefully they send in that new mic soon. But going off my built-in computer mic here. So, no interest in this fight here whatsoever. But next fight, I do have some interest in. And this is the first leg of my one parlay. And it's Brian Barberena. And I saw this line like last week during fight week. And I was really, I was surprised. Like he was sitting at minus 240. And I saw Anthony Ivey was facing him. And I was surprised. I thought he should be like way bigger than that. And then I got into it, did a little digging, and I guess he came off of some back surgery. He ballooned up to like 250 pounds. At the weigh-ins, he didn't look bad, but he didn't look good. I think he's going to be fine here. And I just think the skill gap is huge in this fight. I'm not too high on Anthony Ivey. Ivey is lost by submission twice. He's been knocked out once. He's never lost by decision. I just see Barberena finishing him. We saw in the last fight against Aguilera, I had Aguilera winning it, by the way, not that fast, but as soon as Ivey felt that power, as soon as he got hit, he kind of like shelled up, and that's not really something you can do against Barberena. So they just added this on DraftKings, 9,000 for Barberena, and I like that quite a bit. Actually, they didn't just add that. It's been here earlier in the week. They added the Turner at 9,000. But, yeah, I like this Barberena at 9,000 a lot. He's going to be one of my core plays. And like I said, I have the parlay at minus 255. Barberena inside the distance is minus 120. That's a good price there if I was to bet it any other way. But I do like that parlay piece there. Other than that, not too much interest in Ivey. I see a lot of people picking Ivey, and maybe it's a fade on Barberena. But I just don't see it. Is he going to be able to get Barberena to the ground? Maybe. Is he going to be able to hold him down? It's hard to hold this guy down, and he's no scrub on the ground, Barberena. So I do think Barberena is going to be able to keep it upright. Barberena does have like a 49% takedown defense, but a lot of that was because Colby Covington took him down like 13 times. So can't look into that too much. I think Barberena is the way better fighter, and it's not even close. There are some question marks, but I do think he gets it done. Just really struggling to find a path to victory for Ivey. It would have to be like maybe sticking to the outside, using that length and range, or maybe taking him down. I just don't really think any of those are likely. So minus 255, I like that quite a bit as a potential parlay piece. Hello, Maria. Barberena via late first round KO. He has fought better fighters. He's fought way better fighters. It's not even close. And then, Ivey got knocked out by Aguilera in the first minute. All right. Where are we on the card? Just tuning in. We are on the Barberena and Ivey fight. I have Barberena parlay with Quarantillo. I like that. I think by finish. Yeah, I think he wins by finish too. I don't really see. Maybe he wins a decision if Ivey's able to, tough it out. But Ivey's never lost by decision. So I have Barberena by finish, and I think the minus 120 is very, very generous. If I didn't have it in a parlay, I would probably, for sure play that minus 120. Getting to this next fight here. Jalen Turner versus Brock Weaver. As we know, Brock Weaver was supposed to fight Frank Camacho. And I really like this matchup for Jalen Turner. I mean, I'm not high on Brock Weaver whatsoever. I don't think he's that good. I think his ground game is really poor. I still have to do a little bit more tape on Jalen Turner. I know we just taped him last week, but I want to see, does he go out there and get takedowns? And I don't really remember seeing him do much of that. And in this fight, if he goes out there and gets takedowns, I think he can get a submission win. But even then, if he keeps us on the feet, which, that's what he does most of the time, I still think he wins as well. He's going to have a big height and reach advantage here. We'll take a look at the numbers here. So Turner is going to have a 3-inch reach advantage and only in a 2.5-inch height, 2.5-inch reach advantage there. So it's not as big as I thought, but man, Turner is a big dude. He's a big dude. And I'm not high on Weaver. I don't think he's that great. He's tough. He's scrappy, good cardio, decent boxer. just has no power. I mean, he's finished, I think, 1 fight out of his 20 fights by knockout. And how does Jalen Turner lose? It's by getting knocked out. So Weaver's going to have to knock him out. And I don't know. I don't really see that happening. I like Turner quite a bit. And actually, he's the other piece of my other parlay. So we'll have to break that down a little bit more. But I have Turner in a parlay as well. Minus 325. I don't hate that whatsoever. I think he wins, most likely by finish. Weaver is very tough. He's been knocked out once. He's been submitted twice. If this hits the mat, if Turner's able to get to the mat, he's going to submit Weaver. Just not very high on Weaver's ground game whatsoever. And Turner has a really slick ground game. He's a brown belt in BJJ. So Turner's 9,000 on DraftKings. I'm going to load up on that. Another one of my core plays there. As for Weaver, maybe he's able to knock out Turner. It's just he doesn't pack, all that much power. And I think it's going to be really hard to get on the inside of Jalen Turner. So give me Jalen Turner pretty much all day here. Just for the record, I had Camacho beating Brock Weaver, but I was not as confident in Jalen Turner here. And Jalen Turner looked good on the scales as well. That's something else I was looking for. I wanted to make sure he was looking good, and fair enough, and he was. So give me Jalen Turner. I like it quite a bit. Brock Weaver is a dog fighter, not a good guy. Yeah, that's a rumor going around that he did some of that stuff. I don't have an option. I got horses. Turner comparable to Roosevelt Roberts, who Weaver had all sort of trouble with. Yeah, in a way, for sure. I can see that. Turner will spider him. Whatever that means, I think you're right. How come the books have not released props? And yeah, you see a lot of X's on my sheet here. They're taking their time. I think it's because all the other sports going on. NFL's back. They don't really, they're not trying the hardest to get all their stuff out there. So hopefully they're able to get the lines out overnight, because there are some things I want to look at. And make sure you guys tune into the betting breakdown video tomorrow. On Saturday morning, I'll be going over some of my personal bets and the best bets for each card. Appreciate it, Maria. Turner all the way. Turner's got more tools. Yeah, I mean, all Weaver has, in my opinion, is just that toughness, that grit, and that's about it. I mean, he's a decent striker, but Turner should absolutely win this fight here. All right, so getting into the next fight here, Alexander Romanov versus Roik Martinez, and this is the one I'm really waiting to see the props. They're obviously going to set the over-under at 1.5. If they can give me plus money on the under here, I'm going to take it. I believe Romanov's 9 out of 11 fights have all ended in round 1. And I don't know, if Romanov gets Martinez down, I don't see him getting back up. Once he gets him down, I think the fight's going to be over shortly after. Romanov's minus 365. But, Martinez is no scrub whatsoever. I actually kind of liked what I saw. He's a really big dude. Decent striking, decent power. But this should be Romanov all day. I don't think he's going to stuff the takedowns of Romanov. And like I said, once Romanov gets him down, it's going to be either a submission or a knockout. So I'm really eyeing that under, and hopefully it's plus money, because I will jump on that. But minus 365, it's a little wide, especially for a heavyweight fight, because just one shot is all it takes. And Martinez does pack power. If Martinez is able to stuff those takedowns, he is extremely live. So I don't necessarily think it should be that wide, but give me Alexander Romanov. 8,700 on DraftKings is an absolute gift. You just got to load up on that, and then 7,500 for Martinez on DraftKings. It's a decent play, because if he does stuff those takedowns, he's live. But then again, I do think Romanov should definitely win this fight. So Romanov, not going to touch the minus 365. When I'm doing my Hail Mary parlay, I'll definitely throw him in there. And then 8,700 on DraftKings is an absolute gift. So that's probably going to be one of my higher owned plays on DraftKings. That's just way too cheap for the upside he has here. And like I said, one takedown is all it takes, and I think he gets it here. So give me Alexander Romanov. I'm really excited to see this guy fight. Hopefully he actually fights. It seems like, the 2 fights have been canceled for him, so he's been having some bad luck. So hopefully this one, gets through. Sorry to spam the chat, but do you ever bet on Dana White's Contender Series on Tuesdays? I would like to. I'm just so busy. I do all my research on Monday and Tuesday. If it was the Dana White's like Wednesday Contender Series, then I would be able to do it. But at this point, probably not, but hopefully in the near future. Similar take to the Romanov and De Lima. Yeah, in a way. I do think once he gets it down, it should be over shortly after. Exactly. Where are the props? I was hoping they would get him out before the video, but I guess not. Yeah, Romanov is a big dude. Both these guys are huge, but I was really surprised how big Romanov actually was at weigh-ins. Romanov or Barberena at MVP on FanDuel single entry. I haven't checked FanDuel salaries. Either one's fine. Probably Romanov because I do think he has a higher chance of getting that first round knockout or first round submission. Barberena, I can see it happening later in the fight, or he can get a first round knockout as well. But I'd say Romanov would be the safer play there. Romanov's opponent looks in shape. Yeah. Turner and Barberena double inside the distance. I don't hate that. You probably get some decent odds on that. I do think they most likely do win inside the distance, but I don't know. Weaver's tough, but if Turner can get it to the mat, I do think he can submit him. How is Romanov's cardio? Pretty good. Pretty good. Saw him going to the third round, look fresh, look good, but I don't really think it's going to go to the third round there. Romanov all day. Price similarly on Draftkings. Yeah. I mean, FanDuel. Yeah. Romanov on FanDuel is fine as well. First round finish bet on Romanov? Possibly, yeah. Yeah, possibly. But I'm looking at the under because both guys are capable of finishing very, very early. And like I said, one takedown should be about it. All right, getting into the next fight here. And Roosevelt Roberts versus Kevin Croom. I'll be honest, I haven't taped Kevin Croom yet. I'll be doing that tonight, and I'll talk about it on the betting breakdown a little bit. But from what I see, like Roberts should win this fight. We'll take a look at the numbers here. Roberts is going to have a 73-inch reach. I'm assuming he's going to have a decent reach advantage. Croom is 6,700 on DraftKings. Roberts is 8,400 on DraftKings as well. I'm assuming that Roberts is going to be a big favorite in this fight. Croom didn't look all that great at the weigh-ins. So probably going to, if everything checks out on tape, I'm probably going to load up on Roosevelt Roberts. But I remember this Croom guy. I think he was supposed to fight for someone else a couple weeks ago. I do remember him. He looks very, very familiar, but it should be Roberts here. Like I said, I do got to look into it more, but the 8,400 on DraftKings is something I'm really interested in. Waiting to see some line here, but I'm assuming he's going to be a big favorite and probably something I'm going to add into my Hail Mary parlay. But can't really talk much about Croom. If you guys know anything about him, let me know. Haven't had the chance to look into it because all the craziness going on today. But Roosevelt Roberts should get it done. All right. Romanov or Barberena, which is a safer bet? Probably Romanov, I guess. I don't know, but it is heavyweight. There's question marks with Barberena and his back surgery. I don't know. I think they're both about the same. Can't trust your money with Roberts. I mean, I'm not high on the guy personally, but this is probably a fight he should win. Romanov and inside the distance for me. Where do you go for tape research for older fights? YouTube, or if not, then UFC Fight Pass. The hard-hitting hillbilly. Yeah, I saw that. How can you bet against that? Yeah, true. That's a cool name. I'm assuming it's going to be a fun fight. But Robert should probably get it done. What's up, Joe? Yes, sir. Waiting on the inside the distance prop for Roberts. Yeah, I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on a bunch of lines like the inside the distance prop for Turner, the inside the distance prop for Romanov, the over-unders. So hopefully they get that out tonight. Roberts is suspect. Yeah, I had Frivola against him. I really thought that Frivola could take him down, grind him, stay out of trouble. But that bet got canceled. Got it at plus 100. Really like that number as well. So parlay Romanov and Barberena. Don't hate it. Who are your best 3 parlay picks? I'll talk about it at the end of the show. All right, so getting into the next fight here. Julia Avila versus Ciara Eubanks, and Avila is minus 280 and Eubanks is plus 255. A lot of people are hating on Eubanks, and I don't really understand it. I actually think she's not bad. She is 5-4 though. We all know what her problem is, and that's that cardio. But it looked pretty decent in the Moraes fight, and I was checking her Instagram, and that's something she's really been working on lately. Is that cardio? She's making it a staple in her camp. So she looked really good on the scales, and we cannot say that, in her past couple fights. So I don't know. I feel like this could be really close. Avila's still very, very untested. From what I've seen, she looks like an absolute beast. But would I lay minus 280 on her? No. And she was like minus 350 earlier in the week. So the money is coming in a little bit on Eubanks, as it should. Women's MMA, anything can happen. And Eubanks is no scrub. She has very, very good striking. She has really good wrestling. She's a black belt in BJJ, which I do question because I did not like what I've seen in a lot of her fights with her ground game. But still, she's a black belt. Avila's ground game looks pretty solid. I don't know. These girls are going to go at it. Was kind of looking at the fight. Doesn't go to decision, plus 135. You're going to have to give me a better number than that. Avila on DraftKings, 9,400. There's no way I can possibly play that, especially with Jalen Turner at 9,000. Barberena at 9,000, Romanov at 8,700. I don't see a finish. I don't see her finishing Eubanks. Maybe it's a late finish, but 9,400 is a steep, steep price. If anything, I'd rather play, take a shot on Eubanks at 6,800 because she's very tough. She's going to throw volume. She scores well in losses. And if she's in shape, if she comes in here and she's fresh in that third round, it could be a really close fight. I don't know. I feel like Eubanks can win that first round. I just feel like she's going to fade as the fight goes on, but I don't know. She looked good. So, very, very concerning there. But a lot of people are high on Avila, and I can see why. She looks like an absolute stud. But I don't know. I'm going to go with Avila, but I do think the line should be way closer, so I'm not going to bet it. I'm not even going to put it in a Hail Mary parlay. I'm just going to leave it alone. On DraftKings, 9,400, no thank you. 6,800 for Eubanks is very, very interesting for a couple of reasons. You can maybe punt that in cash because in a loss, she does score well. If she's not getting finished, she'll score maybe 40, 50 points. And Avila is pretty hittable. And the Eubanks also has takedown upside, advance upside. But Eubanks in tournaments is fine as well. If she wins, it's going to score probably pretty high. And I don't know. It's a weird fight. I see a lot of confidence in Avila. I don't really have that confidence, but she should win. But, buyer beware there. All right. What do you guys have in that? Is anybody betting? Is anybody laying the minus 300 on Avila there? I might play Eubanks. What's up, Gaming Wolf? I'm 100% on Eubanks. Avila is so overrated. I wouldn't say she's overrated. She's just very, very untested. So, I don't know. Women's MMA, minus 300. I don't like it. This fight is going to be close. Yeah, I do think it's going to be close. So is there a stack that's going to win the fight card on DraftKings again? Not this week, not with 12 fights as of now. And by the way, I was able to take down a tournament last week with the main event stack. I had a lineup that if Sakai won, I would have had the optimal lineup. And then, he ended up losing, so I didn't even check my DraftKings app. And then I ended up checking it later in the night, and I saw I was in first place. And I guess I had a Overeem Sakai stack that passed up all my other lineups. So that was a nice surprise there. I was really close to getting a takedown a couple weeks before that. Finally was able to get a takedown there. So that was awesome to see. The confidence is because the bookies are pricing the confidence. Yeah. Never seen her defend a takedown. You're talking about Avila. Yeah, she's defended some takedowns against Panic Hanzed. But that's a lot different from, defending a takedown from Eubanks who can pick people up and slam you. So I don't know. I'm not going to bet it myself. Kind of sworn off betting women's MMA for a little bit. Kind of ever since the Agapova fiasco, the Calderwood fiasco, just kind of, let it ride and all that. If Avila comes in trying to knock out Eubanks, Eubanks is going to catch her. And, funny you say that because that's probably what's going to happen. This is going to be a firefight. Both are going to try to knock each other out. From what I've seen, Avila has, decent durability, and as does Eubanks. Eubanks has never been finished, so I don't know. It's going to be a fun fight. Turner, Barberena, Quarantillo for you. All right, yeah, I like that. best to take parlays of upsets on women's MMA. Yeah. I mean, at this point, a lot of these women's MMA fights should be closer to a pick 'em, but I don't know. Thank you, Richard. Avila by decision is possible, but a fade for me on DK. Let's see. Avila by decision is -125. Not for me, but yeah, you're right. JoJo and Shanna Dobson, nightmares. Yeah, still have those nightmares of that crazy incident, but luckily Dobson was able to hit that under 1.5 for me. Dobson 2.0. I mean, Eubanks is nowhere near Dobson. I mean, Eubanks is way, 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 way better, so that would be a little bit different, but I get what you're saying. Eubanks doesn't have the killer finish instinct. Yeah, I mean, as for a BJJ black belt, I don't really like her ground game. She does hit hard, but yeah. I see a ton of finishes on this card. Yeah, especially Romanov, the new fights that are added, they all should finish. So anyway, getting into the next fight here. And make sure you guys do follow me on social media, DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. I have 2 bets I'll talk about tonight, and then there will be some things I'll be adding sometime late tonight, tomorrow, depending on these new lines. Like I said, I am looking at the under of the Romanov and Martinez fight. Even if it's like -110, -120, I'll still probably hit that under. I really do think that hits. Looking for Turner inside the distance, looking at Romanov inside the distance. So hopefully they get those lines out there, and if so, I will be posting my bets sometime on Saturday. All right, so Billy Quarantillo and Kyle Nelson. This is the other leg of my parlay. I have Brian Barberena and Billy Quarantillo in a parlay, 2 units on it at -104. I believe it's probably around there as of now. Some money came in on Ivey, and Barberena went from -270 to -255. So I believe it's like around like -205, -210 on some books. But I really like Quarantillo in this fight. The problem is he's going to have to survive a crazy first round. And watching tape on Quarantillo, I was extremely impressed from what I've seen. But the only thing I had to say about him was like he loses a lot of the first rounds. He comes out there and he goes down. He's a slow starter, and I don't know if that's the best idea against Kyle Nelson. Was listening to an interview with Billy Quarantillo, and he was talking about getting this fight to the mat and doing it early. And I think that's the best idea possible. Take him down, grind him out. Nelson does not have the best cardio in the world. Nelson is round 1 or bust, in my opinion. If he gets out of the round 1, Quarantillo is going to take over, probably get a late finish there as well. So I do like Quarantillo quite a bit. Maybe you could hedge with a Nelson round 1 prop. I don't know what that is, but if Nelson wins, it's going to be round 1. So if you are on Nelson, round 1's probably the way to go. I think Quarantillo finishes his fight in round 2 or round 3. 9,300 on DraftKings. Again, I like it. He scores a ton, lots of takedown upside, advance upside, reversals, significant strikes. He really puts it on people. So give me Quarantillo here by a probably 2nd or 3rd round finish. Probably a submission as well, or a knockout. I can see either. But I just think that Nelson, if he gets out of the first round, it's Billy's fight to lose here. So Quarantillo, I like him quite a bit. Like I said, 2 units on Quarantillo and Barberena at -104. Got that way earlier in the week. I thought the lines would kind of get a little bit wider, and they have a little bit, but I was expecting, Barberena to be a little bit wider and Quarantillo to be a little bit wider, but I can see it. Nelson does have that puncher's chance in the first round, but other than that, I think Quarantillo gets it done. Nelson on DraftKings is interesting, 6,900, because if he does win, it's in the first round. It's a knockout. But from what I've seen, like Quarantillo has very good durability. He's been knocked out once in his career. Very, very tough guy. I don't know if he fights smart and takes him down, or I think he can even strike with him a little bit. Maybe it won't be the best idea, but I don't know. I like Quarantillo a lot, but I'll be playing both sides in DraftKings just because of the upside of Kyle Nelson there. Billy Q and Bobby Green are very active, and even in 3-round fights, they score over 100 on DraftKings. That's true. Yeah, Billy Q, he gets in some bad spots in a lot of fights, but you're right. He goes out there and he takes over later in the fight. Yeah, good point there. Very good point, because I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is a decent chance that Quarantillo loses that first round, but I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think he should win this first round, but if he does lose a round, it's going to be that first. wanting to get it to the mat and actually being able to are two different things. I think Billy Q can outmuscle Nelson to get a takedown. Man, I hope so. I think he can. He's really, tricky with his takedowns. I don't know. I think he can, but Matt Sales was able to take him down. I think it's not a good look there. Billy Q schooled Spike. That was a great performance. I thought that was a really close fight. Actually, Spike won that first round, and if they would have given Spike that decision, I would have had a takedown on DraftKings. And I was actually rooting for Spike really hard, but they gave it to Quarantillo. I thought it really could have went either way. Personally, I scored it for Spike, but that was probably my extreme bias because I did want that takedown in DraftKings. But finish for sure. Yeah, Nelson early, Quarantillo late. Let's see. The fight doesn't go to decision. Wow, it's minus 210 now. Earlier in the week, it was minus 145, and I was actually looking at placing a bet on that. I'm not touching it at minus 210 now. I want Quarantillo to sub him in the third round after a tone of ground and pound advances and takedowns. Yeah, very, very capable of happening. And he just puts on such a big pace that, it scores very well on DraftKings. I'm sold on Q. Yeah, me too. I'm really high on him. Nelson TKO. If so, it'd be in the first round. I sure do hope not, though. He got subbed by Sales. Yes, he did. And, Billy Quarantillo is extremely good on the ground. BJJ black belt. Really liked what I've seen from him. If Billy Q gets him down, I think he can sub him as well. Getting into this next fight, and this is the other part of my other parlay. And I have Jalen Turner and Bobby Green minus 124. I have 2.2 units on that. And, before getting into any tape, I thought Patrick was very live, just looking at the numbers and everything. Just some recency bias with Green getting taken down quite a bit recently. And then after watching tape, I have some really high confidence in Bobby Green. And I know it's hard to have confidence in a guy like Bobby Green, someone who tends to go to really close decisions. Someone tends to mess around in there. But this is a fight he should absolutely win. The money is coming in on him. Was able to parlay him, I think, like minus 255, minus 250, something like that. He's now at minus 260. I like that parlay quite a bit, Green and Turner. But Green should win this fight. Patrick, what he wants to do is get this fight to the mat, and he's not the best wrestler in the world, does not have the best ground game in the world. I think Green's better on the ground in the grappling area. And Green doesn't have bad takedown defense. I think it's close to like 80%. He has been taken down a little bit recently, but he's able to work his way back up. I don't see Patrick holding him down. And on the feet, it's Green all day, and it's really not even close. Some lines I was looking at for Bobby Green was Bobby Green by decision. Well, now it's minus 125. When I was looking at it, it was like minus 110, probably past there. But Bobby Green by finish, plus 280. And this is interesting because Green has not had a finish since 2013, and Patrick has not lost by decision. He's lost by knockout in both of his losses. And I don't know. I feel like Green could finish him. I feel like Green could have finished Fanata. But I don't know. Will he? I don't know. So Green by finish is something I'm looking at. I think it's very, very possible. But, the most likely scenario is he does win by decision. But I don't know. I just have this weird feeling that Green might get this done inside the distance. Patrick's never lost by decision. Green is going to have such a big striking advantage. Maybe he can put him on and finish him with volume. I don't know. I think he's going to be the way better striker in there. So I'm going to take Bobby Green. Don't know how I'm going to bet it yet besides that parlay. Like I said, I do have the parlay with Jalen Turner for 2.2 units. And those are my two plays for the night. I did have Frivola, and there are some unders I'm looking at. And I'll talk about another under I'm looking at later in the card. And I'm waiting for these new lines to come out. But those are the two bets I have right now. Two-leg parlays. There's really not much else to do on this card. There's a bunch of big favorites. So give me Bobby Green. I'll ask for DraftKings. It's 9,100. There are some options I like around him a little bit more. I think he will be kind of a more contrarian play because everybody's going to go to Turner. Everybody's going to go to Barberena. Everybody's going to go to Quarantillo. Everybody's going to go to Romanov. So if you do want to get it a little bit different, Bobby Green, and he does have the ability to score high with the volume he brings and maybe even a finish. So Bobby Green for me, Patrick on DraftKings, probably not. I just don't see him scoring high. He's not going to finish Green. Maybe he takes him down a couple times. Just don't see him doing much with that. Patrick hasn't fought in a while. Yeah, he hasn't fought in like a year and something. This is as close as it gets to a setup fight for Bobby Green, yes. I'm not too high on Bobby Green, but in this matchup, I really like it. And just watching tape gave me a lot of confidence. And I did want to bet Bobby Green in some type of way, and then was able to parlay him up with Jalen Turner for a decent price there. How old is Guida? Like what, 38, 37, 38, 39, somewhere around there? Green is decent on the ground. You're right. Very decent on the ground. I feel like output might be low because Alon doesn't do much in there. That's true, but I don't really think maybe Green will let Alon dictate how the fight goes. I hope not. I mean, Green does tend to do that, but this should be a fight he should win. I like the Romanov and Mark Rodriguez parlay. We'll talk about Mike Rodriguez next here. Green can create opportunities to finish, but it depends on the stakes of the fight. The Groovy fight was a rematch, so he had a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, and he almost did finish that fight as well, so I don't know. What were your two parlays? Jalen Turner and Bobby Green, minus 124, something like that. And then Barberena and Quarantillo, like minus 104. I'm going Roosevelt Green parlay. What's up, Boston Nick? How are you doing? Nice to see you in the chat. Green, I can see a TKO for him. Yeah, I can see it as well. I just ate some Popeye's chicken and I feel rejuvenated. Nice. I'm hungry. I haven't ate lunch yet, so hopefully you'll be able to get some food after this live stream. Had a decent breakfast though, so I'm feeling all right. Anyway, getting into this next fight, and I see a lot of people with confidence on Mike Rodriguez. He's not someone you can have confidence in. I mean, this is the same dude that lost as a minus like 400, 500 favorite against John Allen. He's the same dude that lost against a minus 300 favorite another time, got knocked out. He's someone who he's just really hard to trust. Minus 235, I guess it's fair, and this is a fight he should win, but I'm not all high on the guy. I don't think he has the best ground game whatsoever. I think his ground game's pretty poor. I think his takedown defense is very poor. I think his takedown defense is like 58%. He can be taken down easily, and I do question his durability as well. So a lot of question marks with Mike Rodriguez. This is something I'm going to leave out of my Hail Mary parlay. And if anything, if I had to bet at this fight, I'd probably bet Herman. As crazy as that sounds, because Herman does have a lot of paths to victory here. He's very tough. A lot of people think that Rodriguez is going to go out there and, the first touch of the chin, Herman's going to go down. I don't think so. I mean, Herman's been knocked out twice in his career. Been submitted 3 times. In 38 fights, Herman's been knocked out twice. He hasn't been knocked out in like 5 years. So I don't think Mark Rodriguez is going to have the easiest time in this fight. If Herman does come out here with a takedown heavy game plan, which he hasn't done in years, I think he's extremely live. It's just he hasn't done that. He averages 2 takedowns per 15 minutes, but a lot of those were in like 2010, 11, 12. He hasn't had like more than 2 takedowns since like 2012, something like that. So I don't know. He is a BJJ black belt, Herman is. And I saw a lot of people picking Herman against Gerald Meerschaert as well. So I don't know. This is a very tough fight to call. This is probably the fight I'm having the most trouble with picking a winner here. And it wouldn't really think that way because like Rodriguez is a minus 235 favorite. It should be an easy Rodriguez pick, you'd think, but I don't know. I have a weird feeling about this fight. Herman does hit hard. Smaller cage. Rodriguez won't be able to use that length and that reach as well, and Herman's going to be able to close that distance. It's something I do want to stay away from. Though under 1.5 is like plus 115, something like that. The over is like, I don't know, like minus 130. Probably would lean over in this fight because of Herman's durability. I do think he's durable. I don't see Rodriguez getting him out there early. But this is a fight I do want to stay away from a betting perspective. I can't trust Rodriguez. I know we got a fantastic knockout against Marcin Prachnio, but that's someone who got knocked out 3 times in the UFC. I mean, Herman's a UFC veteran, and he has that durability. He has passed the victory here. I don't know. It's a very sketchy fight. This is the sketchiest fight on the card. I would not run to the betting window and bet Mike Rodriguez minus 130 by KO. No, I just don't see it. I think he wins. I think he wins a close fight, but would not be laying that minus 235. As for DraftKings, you do got to play him in 8,800. I will have some Rodriguez in DraftKings and Herman 7,400, I will have some Herman and Draftkings as well, because I don't know, I feel like this fight could be close, and I feel like someone's probably going to get finished, and just a lot of question marks with Rodriguez. What are the odds on Herman by sub? I think Ed clips him, hurts him, rear naked chokes him. Yeah, that's very likely. I mean, Herman has finished half his fights by submission. He's a black belt in BJJ. I mean, he has a good ground game. Herman by submission is plus 1,050. I don't hate that. I think Ed Herman finishes him. Old head speeding the young guns lately, yeah. Herman looked worse on the scales than he did in all of his canceled fights. As expected, though. I mean, this dude has been looking for a fight for, what, like 6 months? But, man, I don't know. He could finish him like Krylov did. Yeah, and I think that was the last time Herman was finished there. Eubanks or Herman as the punt play on FanDuel. I'll be playing both as kind of a punt, but if I had to pick one, I guess Herman. But I think both those fights could play out a lot closer than people think. This one is tough to bet on. I'm going to pass. Yeah, I mean, the number is tempting there for Rodriguez. He has all the physical advantages. He is the better fighter. It's really sketchy. It's really someone I don't want to put in parlays. Ever since the John Allen fight where he lost as a minus 500 favorite over a year ago, still have that memory inside my head. I know it got overturned to a no contest because John Allen popped for something, but still, like, come on, that was a fight you should win. And it showed that he does not have a ground game. And Herman does. He doesn't use it, but maybe he does, in this fight. The smaller cage as well helps out those wrestlers. I don't know. I think we lose one more fight, and I can almost guarantee you right there, if we set the over-under on fights lost at 2.5, would you guys go over or under? I think I would go, we lose 3 fights last week. I'd probably take the under, but, very cautiously. I don't know. It's been very weird lately. Like, a lot of people are pulling out, lots of COVID stuff. Hopefully we don't lose all that many fights. I like Herman as an underdog. Plus 1050 is interesting for sub. I don't see him pulling guard. Yeah, he'd have to take him down. And I think he could, but will he do it? It's not something he does. I don't know. Next one, I think Roxanne, actually. She looks more experienced. You like the under there? I'd probably take the under, but I don't know. I wouldn't put much money on it. You like the over there, Forrest? Is it time to fade Modafferi yet? I don't know. Eubanks, I don't know. Eubanks looked really good at weigh-ins, so I don't know. I don't know who would it be if someone pulled out. Maybe it would be related to COVID or something. Take me back to Fight Island. Yeah, we're going there soon, and it seemed like everything was smooth sailing in Fight Island. I remember going on like a 4 or 5 fight win streak at Fight Island. It was fantastic. Had like a 7 unit winning night on one of those cards as well. Take me back. Brady's going optimal. I hope 2 weeks in a row would be sweet. Oh, Boston Nick's going to bet Roxy one more time. Oh man, I don't hate it. I don't hate that line. We'll talk about it right now though. All right, so in this fight, women's MMA, Andrea Lee minus 295 against Roxanne Modafferi. And what is she notorious for? Those big upsets at that big underdog price. So I was on Roxanne Modafferi against Antonina Shevchenko, and she was a big underdog. And she was like 6,700 on DraftKings too. I remember playing her, and I don't know if she got optimal, but I think she scored decent in that. And Modafferi against Barber, I was not on her then. I was all over Barber, and Barber was minus 1,000. Women's MMA. But, man, Lee is probably better everywhere here, but what is the one area that Lee struggles in? The takedown defense. Kind of the ground game. I think she has a solid ground game, but she gets taken down quite a bit. We'll take a look at the numbers here just to get some numbers. 61% takedown defense. And, of course, Modafferi does have a 21% takedown accuracy, one of the worst takedown accuracies out there. But still, Modafferi looks like she's 37 years old, but it looks like she's been improving, the past couple fights. I don't know. If she's able to get Lee down, it could be very sketchy. I'll tell you guys right now, I'm not parlaying Andrea Lee at minus 235. I'm leaving that out of my Hail Mary there. Minus 140 by decision. I'm leaving that out. Not going to bet that. If I was to bet this fight, I guess I would take a shot on Modafferi. I'm not doing it, but I think the value is on her. Lee should absolutely win this fight. She absolutely should. But, man, we've seen it before, and we've seen it quite a bit. Women's MMA, and the path to victory is there for Modafferi. So I don't know. It's a tough fight to call, and Lee's minus 300. Obvious, easy pass there. If you are really confident in Lee, I don't really see how you can be. I know she has all the advantages, but in the one area where she does struggle, that's where Modafferi's pretty good. I'm going to take Lee by decision. I'm assuming she's going to, be able to stuff a lot of those takedowns. She is going to be the stronger fighter. I'm assuming she's going to be able to work her way up to the feet. But if not, Modafferi could win a close decision. I feel like this could be maybe a split decision as well. So I don't know. Give me Andrea Lee and not confident in it. 8,900, probably going to fade that. Because of all the plays around her, and she doesn't typically score all that high. She's not going to get a finish. Modafferi's been finished like once by knockout, and that was like some type of slam. Modafferi is 7,300. Maybe she gets a couple takedowns, advances. She doesn't throw strikes, so she doesn't throw much. So probably going to stay away from this fight. Probably one of the fights I'm going to have the least amount of ownership to. It's either that or the Mazzo fight. But yeah, give me Andrea Lee. Let me know who you guys are betting in this fight. Is anybody taking a shot on Modafferi? I know Boston Nick said he did. Modafferi or Eubanks in the optimal, bold statement there. I don't know if Eubanks wins. Yeah, she'll be in the optimal lineup at 6,800. If Modafferi wins, I'm not so sure because she doesn't have that striking upside. Hope Roxy wins, but yeah, I would not bet this fight. It's probably a pass there. The odds are open. Yeah, it's too wide for Lee here. I mean, I'm not too high on Lee to begin with, and I'm not too high on Roxanne either, but Lee should win this fight, but it's way, way too wide. Wake me up when this one's over. And yeah, this was actually supposed to be the co-main event, I think, at one point, and then they ended up changing it to Worthy Azatar. Thank goodness. Like, some of these fights are going to be good, but some of these fights are pretty bad. But luckily, we have a fantastic card next week, and we have a fantastic card the week after. So 2 really good cards coming up. Who do you guys have in the next card, Colby Covington or Tyron Woodley? Let me know who you guys have there. Personally, I'm going with Colby Covington there, but he's like minus 350. And Woodley's talking about he's going to knock him out and stuff. So that's a fight I want to look forward to as well. And that there's some other good fights on the next card, but this card's not the best, I'll be honest. Roxy as a dog. I don't hate it. I don't hate anybody taking a shot on that dog money on Roxy. Modafferi has beaten Lee already, if you didn't know. Yes, she did, but of course that was 6 years ago. I had someone comment on my videos saying, like, Lee's not better than Roxanne everywhere because Roxanne beat Lee 6 years ago. A lot can change in 6 years, a lot. You like Colby by decision. I think Woodley's done. I really do. If my boy Clint, the Roxanne Modafferi whisperer, isn't pulling the trigger on Roxy, neither am I. There you go. There you go. Covington grinds him. I like it. Covington, yeah. I don't know. Woodley's talking about going out there and knocking him out. I don't know. Covington did get knocked out by Usman last fight, but man. All right, so Woodley's washed. Yep. All right, so getting into the co-main event here, we're at 49 minutes here, so about 15 to 20 more minutes left. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. We have a little bit over 200 people in the chat right now. If you guys can hit the like button, we would really appreciate that a lot. If you guys can subscribe if you have not yet, again, would appreciate that a ton. Working my way up to 7,000 subscribers. Would like to hit that in the near future. And also going to be doing another contest in a couple weeks. Have a pay-per-view coming up. Going to be doing a contest. Always like doing those on the pay-per-views. So something else to look forward to there. So this main event is going to be, it's probably going to be fight of the night. Worthy Azatar, a fight that's really tough to call. Worthy, someone who came into the UFC and Smith was minus 1,000. Still give me some nightmares because I had tons of Smith on DraftKings. I had probably like 80% Smith on DraftKings. Thought it was a fairly easy fight for him. And then didn't know this until the fight, started, going. But Worthy and Smith were like training partners at some point. And you could see that in the fight, they were messing around, giving each other high fives after they landed a shot. And then Worthy ended up knocking him out. And I was shocked. That was a bad night. But the next fight, Worthy was, facing Pena. Pena was looking decent. And then Worthy ended up submitting him like the third round, which, again, a big surprise. Like, this dude keeps pulling it off, and he keeps pulling it off as a big underdog. But now he's a slight favorite. And he was a bigger favorite earlier in the week. I think he was like minus 140. Now he's down to minus 120. Some money is coming in on Azatar, as it should. This should be a pick 'em because I can see it being Azatar early or Worthy late. What's going to happen? I don't know. Both these guys are going to come at it and try to land some bombs. Worthy, pretty decent counter puncher. I think the smaller cage is going to help out Azatar, but I don't know what it is. But Worthy's been knocked out 5 times, and that was at 45. Ever since he's came up to 155, I think he's on like a 7-fight winning streak, 8-fight winning streak. He hasn't been knocked out. His chin's holding up. Could that move up in weight, like totally rejuvenate his career? I think so. I think it has. Man, really struggling to pick a side. I'm not going to pick a side here with confidence. I'm going to lean Worthy. I'm done counting this dude out. I've seen Azatar hurt multiple times. But, man, if I think Worthy has more paths to victory, whether it is getting it to the mat, whether it is, surviving that first round and winning it later in the fight. And for that reason, I'm going to go with Worthy just because he's going to have more paths to victory. But at any point of the fight, like especially in that first round, Azatar can knock him out. And I wouldn't be surprised. So the thing I was looking at was the under 1.5 plus 115. But that kind of feels like a trap to me. A lot of Worthy's knockouts and finishes are near that or around that third round. He doesn't have many first round finishes. I did notice that. So I think if you do want to bet this on the Azatar side, you can take him at that dog money plus 110. Azatar inside the distance plus 185. I don't really see him winning a decision. Azatar first round is something interesting. As for the Worthy side, I'm just going to pass. If he was an underdog, I would take a look at it, but I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this fight. This fight's probably going to end inside the distance, minus 275. Fight doesn't go to decision. I'll probably put that in my Hail Mary parlay. But other than that, I just want to sit back and watch the fight. And on DraftKings, I'm going to load up. This is going to be probably my second highest owned fight on DraftKings, Worthy and Azatar. 8,500 for Worthy. If he wins, it's going to be optimal most likely. Azatar, 7,700. If he wins, it's going to be optimal most likely. It's probably going to be a first-round knockout. And I see this fight finishing one way or another. So I'm going to take Worthy, but, man, it's not confident in that whatsoever. Let me know who you guys have. I see a lot of love out there for Worthy. I see some love for Azatar as well, but it's just a really tough fight to call for me. How about Worthy won 2 fights as a dog? Yes, he did. I'm not betting this one. That's probably the best idea as well. Fun co-main event, but I think we're going to avoid this one from a betting perspective. Yeah, that's probably the smart move. To sit back, enjoy this fight is going to be possibly fight of the night. You're going to put Kama in a parlay. Don't really recommend that, but maybe he wins. Yeah, you're right. He has a decent height and reach advantage, but we're in the smaller cage, so will he be able to utilize that and counter just as well? I don't think so. If it was in the bigger cage, I'd probably be a little more confident and Worthy, but I think Azatar is going to be able to close that distance a little bit better in that smaller cage. This is Azatar's second fight in the UFC. Can't take too much from it in his last knockout. Yeah, and like looking at his record, like he hasn't fought the best competition whatsoever. The competition edge is with Worthy. I know Worthy's been losing to a lot of the guys that are, the better competition, but still he's been fighting them. Eubanks. Worthy any safer than Eubanks at only $3 more? I actually like that. That's weird because on DraftKings, Worthy is 8,500 and Eubanks is 6,800. So you're getting some decent value there. Barberena, Green, Turner, Romanov, Billy Q. Yeah, I like it. I like it, though. All 5 of those guys will be in my Hail Mary. One of those fights working either way sounds like a split. Yep, split it down the middle, 50-50. Go on a slight lean to Azatar because he's the underdog. Yeah, I'll probably go a slight lean to Azatar on DraftKings because he is the underdog and we're getting, 800 savings. Azatar is the underdog. Yeah, this is something you want to target for sure. Worthy held his own on the feet with Pena, and he's a good striker. Yeah, he's been making some improvements, like from earlier in his career. He's really turned around his career. So I don't know. I'm done counting this guy out. Sorry, Worthy 15, Eubanks 10. It's still a good price for Worthy. Do you think Eubanks in a decision? If she wins, I don't know. I mean, she hits really hard. Avila, from what I've seen, does have good durability, but I don't know. Anything can happen. But, she probably would be by decision if she did win. I'm not saying she does. All right, and now it's time for the main event. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm more excited about the co-main event. Rodriguez Herman, Quarantillo Nelson, Jalen Turner, Romanov, than this main event. And I like Angela Hill. I like Michelle Waterson. It's just this isn't going to be the most exciting fight by any means. A very close fight here. The money is coming in on Waterson. Hill was like minus 150 last week. And it's getting closer to a pick-em. So my lean is Angela Hill here. I think the 25 minutes does benefit her, but Waterson looked in fantastic shape. The reason I'm not picking Hill is because, I'm picking Hill, but the reason I'm not betting Hill is because, that ground game, still question marks around it. And it looks a lot improved. But still, I have a bad feeling that Waterson maybe could take her down and hold her down for long periods at a time. Hill has been submitted twice. I don't know if you guys remember, but the Random Marcos, she got submitted in like the first minute. Marcos was like 8,200 on DraftKings. Hill was like 8,000. And Marcos was like 10% on that slate. So I don't know. It's hard to trust Hill. She's been looking fantastic, but we got to factor in the level of competition. She hasn't been fighting the best level of competition. Luma Lukbemi, Carnolosi, Hannah Cyphers. A lot of people can look good against those fighters. So I don't know. I don't really know where to put Angela Hill. She does look like she's making improvements. That's why I'm going with her. It looks like her ground game has improved quite a bit. She's been very, very active. She's been looking great. I thought she won her last fight against Gadelia. I'm gonna go Hill here. If the line flips here and Hill's an underdog tomorrow, I'll probably bet it. But women's MMA, Waterson does have a path to victory, and that is getting takedowns. But on the feet, it's Hill all day. And for that reason, I am going with Hill. I do think it will play on the feet for a lot of the time. And Hill's takedown defense has improved. Her ground game has improved. But I don't know. It's really sketchy. It's a really sketchy fight. It should be line to pick 'em. It really should. As for DraftKings, though, this is a fight you're going to want to have. Angela Hill throws a ton of volume. If Hill wins, it's going to be because she landed a ton of volume. Don't necessarily see her getting a finish, but with 5 rounds, 25 minutes to work with, she throws close to 6 strikes per minute, or lands close to 6 strikes per minute. I think it's around the 5-something range there. So Angela Hill is going to be my preferred play on DraftKings at 8,200, but I will have some Waterson because if Waterson does win, it might be by submission. It might be because she took down Hill and grinded her out a little bit. But this is probably a fight I'm going to be close to 90% owned on. In that 8,200 range, I think it has a really good chance to be optimal. And I do think it's going to be a pretty high volume fight. So Angela Hill for me, I think I'm going to go probably maybe 50-40 in favor of Angela Hill. I think Waterson is live. I don't know. And Angela Hill it looks like she's on her way up in her career. It really does. And she's 34 years old. We don't see that too often. And Michelle Waterson kind of looks like she's on her way down. So I'm going to ride the Angela Hill train here. And hopefully it pays off. Am I confident enough to bet it? Not really. If it was plus money, I'd take a good look. But not something I really want to lay my money on here in this main event. There are other spots. And like I said earlier, a lot of these lines are very inflated. A lot of minus 200, minus 300 favorites. The 2 closest fights that are even, pretty much bettable straight. Angela Hill minus 115, Waterson plus 105, Worthy minus 120, Azatar plus 110. And I'm just not comfortable with either side of either of those fights. So the smart move is definitely to pass and I don't like to really force things. I know I lost the Frivola bet, but I'm not going to force Angela Hill in there because women's MMA and Waterson does have a path to victory. But something I do want to play a lot on DraftKings. Waterson is a good striker. It's just her volume. Like Angela Hill almost doubles her output. Hill is trending up. It looks like she's peaking at her age. Exactly. I noticed the same thing. 5-round fight. If Hill can take her down in the 4th and 5th, ground and pound, would love it. Maybe Waterson gets a little tired. I think Hill's going to have the cardio advantage, but Waterson looked fantastic at weigh-ins. Fit in Romanov, Bobby Green, Roberts, Herman, Worthy, and Turner on FanDuel, but fading the main event. Yeah, I don't hate that. You do have the right idea. You know, you're targeting all the right fights there, but it's going to be hard to just do one lineup this week. Pelosi is a lot smaller than Carvio. I don't know. Azatar about to serve Kama Worthy another KO loss. You think? It's been a while. It's been like, 8 fights since his last KO loss? I don't know. It's very, very likely, but I don't know. Angela Hill always loses in big-time events. You're right. You are 100% right. Every time there's a step up in competition, Angela Hill loses. It's just not something I want to put my money on. It's not a good idea. Stacking the main event in cash, yes. 100%. I'm doing that. No questions asked. Stack this in cash. Ask for GPP. Nah. If we lose 3 or 4 fights tomorrow and we're down to like a 7 or 8 fight card, that's when you're going to want to stack it. And that's how I did take down that contest last week because there was only 7 fights. I ended up saying like what fights are able to be stackable. And it was the main event, and it was one of the women's fights, and was able to get a takedown there. But if we lose a couple fights, you can look at it. Waterson's going to do what Claudia should have did more. Yeah, Claudia should have shot for a lot more takedowns, and I had Claudia in that fight, and I was really frustrated, and I did think Hill won. But, yeah, that was a pretty awful game plan by Claudia Gadelha. Worthy said, I'm not a DJ. I don't care about records. Yeah, he did say that. He's going to come out there and have a fun fight for the fans. Hill fight inside the distance. Plus 205. I don't know. It's probably going to go to decision. If there is a finish, it's probably Waterson by sub. Maybe Hill's able to knock out Waterson, but Waterson's very, very tough. Let's see. Angela is focused on her career. Michelle's focused on her kid going back to school or maybe even having homeschool. And give me Angela. Plus, they've had Hill as a commentator on TV as well. Yeah, I got Hill, but I don't know. I'm not confident enough to bet it. Yeah, Hill in the feed all day. Brady, I'm listening in all right now. I need to learn this DFS MMA thing. Yeah, it's a really cool thing to get into. I've been playing for a couple of years now. I've got some really nice takedowns. My biggest win was the Jorge Masvidal and Darren Till fight. Took down a contest by myself. It was amazing. All right, so for the last 10 minutes here, 5 minutes. We'll go 5-10 minutes here. I'm going to go over my bets and then go over my most confident parlay pieces and then my most confident underdogs from a DraftKings perspective, and then answer any questions you guys have. And thank you all for hanging out. I know this is probably one of the worst cards we've seen in some time, but there are some fights scattered out through it that are going to be fun. So my 2 bets, Jalen Turner parlayed with Bobby Green minus 124 around there, 2.2 units on that. And then Brian Barberena parlayed with Billy Quarantillo, minus 104, 2 units on that. So 2 parlays, 2 leggers there. Nothing much else. We're waiting for these lines, so make sure you guys tune into the betting breakdown tomorrow. I'll be going over all the bets. Hopefully we get those lines out. I'll definitely wait for those lines to get out before I do that video. And then you guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram. I'll post my bets as well. Probably around noonish, 1-ish. So most confident parlay pieces, not Mazzo. Barberena, Turner's fine. Romanov's fine. Romanov, Martinez fight doesn't go to decision. I'm assuming it's going to be like minus 500. That's going to be a fine parlay piece. It's going to finish. Avila, not too interested in. Quarantillo, I like it. Bobby Green, I like it as a parlay piece. Mike Rodriguez, I'm not going to go there. I think he wins, but just really, really sketchy fight there. Andrea Lee, again, another really sketchy fight. And then other than that, The Worthy Azatar minus 275. Fight doesn't go to decision. Could be a possible parlay piece. Wouldn't parlay the Rodriguez Herman minus 230. Fight doesn't go to decision. I could see where it could go to decision. As for underdogs, you want to target on DraftKings. Watterson is obviously a good underdog. You want to target on DraftKings. Azatar at 7,700. Fantastic play on DraftKings for that upside there. Modafferi, I think she could win, but I don't think she's going to score well, so I'm not going to have too much there. Ed Herman, I think he has passed to victory. I know he probably is going to lose, but the pass to victory are there. Patrick, 7,100. Maybe he's able to get takedowns. Just doesn't do much with them. Kyle Nelson, first round upside, knockout upside. Eubanks, 6,800. Very, very cheap. She's live. Other than that, Rook Martinez, 7,500. Heavyweight fight, you got to have some there. Romanov still very untested, UFC newcomer. Brock Weaver, not too interested in. Anthony Ivey, not too interested in. And Justin Kish, not too interested in. So going to spend the next 5 minutes answering any questions you guys have. Do you think Nam gets an opponent? I haven't heard anything about it. I really wanted to see that fight as well. Thoughts on throwing all 4 of these bad boys in a smaller 0.25 unit hit? I didn't see what you put earlier. I don't know about Patrick as an underdog or not. No, I'm going green, and I'm actually pretty confident in it. Just after watching tape, I don't think Patrick's going to be able to do much with Bobby Green on the mat. And on the feet, it's not even close. Any college football picks, parlay pieces, not for me. What ODW Watterson have? What does Watterson have? What do you mean by that? I heard positive for MJ. Really? I didn't hear that. You got to be on later tonight on Odds HQ live with Cody Saftik and the crew. Yeah, I'm going live in 50 minutes. If you guys want to check that out, I'll be on Odds HQ. Let's get this money. Thank you for hanging out, Gaming Wolf. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get some lunch or dinner, you could say. Didn't have a chance to eat lunch today, so hopefully get some good food in me. Get ready for this next live stream. Thank you all for signing up on Patreon. Had about 30 new members over the weekend. I was able to get some early content out there for you guys. I know the Frivola bet fell off, but still the models out there. The article will be out tonight for all my bets and all that, just breaking it down a little bit more. And then, of course, I'll have my Hail Mary parlay in there as well. See you later, Buffo. See ya, Inc. Anytime, Cody. Thanks for hanging out. See you, Boston Nick. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Thank you, too, Richard. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you, Buffo. Smash that like button, guys. Would really appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, you guys know where to reach me. Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram, DFS by the numbers. If you see this, hit subscribe. Let's blow this man's channel up. He deserves it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. All right, guys, that's about it. And good luck on Saturday. Hopefully all these fights stay together, and hopefully we win some money.